Hey, doesn't that sound familiar?
Sure does.
Hey there, ¿cómo se va and qué pasa? I'm JayBo, and this is our very first episode of In the Pocket with JayBo. We have a very special guest today, a true New Orleans lady. She graduated from Cabrini High School and has a BS in accounting from Xavier University. She is a wife, daughter, mom, accountant, and a beyond words outstanding lead singer of the North Houston, Texas-based Bayou Junction Band. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Geri Foster Griffin. How you doing, Geri?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for being here today.
Of course.
And so what's going to be a staple on our show is we're going to start off with some icebreakers. And what I'll do is I'll just ask 5 questions, and actually I just want you to play this little game with me if you would. Okay?
Ooh, let's do it.
So 5 questions. So here's number 1. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would probably say invisibility.
Invisibility.
I could go anywhere I want and be invisible and find out stuff.
Sneak up on folks.
Find out the 411.
Right.
Whether it be like political, could sneak into political meetings or sneak into work meetings, and then I don't know. I think that would be cool.
So you want to be in the FBI is what you're saying. Okay. All right, question number 2.
Find out what people really say about you when they don't know you're there.
Exactly. Question number 2. What are some of your favorite games that you like to play?
Game. Okay, that's an easy one because I have game nights all the time. So sometimes we do blackjack tournaments. My favorite card game is spades. They call me the Spades Queen. The
Spades Queen.
And people who are not experts are scared to play with me, be my partner, because they know, I'm competitive. So
you're the Mac Mama.
Yeah, so spades, blackjack, Mexican train, phase 10.
Right.
I have to say those are my favorites.
What's that one game we played, the left center?
Oh, LCR.
LCR.
Yeah. When you have a big game night. Yeah.
That is a fun game.
Yeah, that is fun.
Well, cool. All right, 3rd question. What would your DJ name be? I knew that would be a good one.
I think my DJ name would be DJ Diversity.
DJ Diversity.
DJ Diversity, because I love all kinds of music. I don't like just one. Some people like just R&B, or some people like just rock or just country. From a young age, I really love. I'm not gonna say all, because there's a couple types of music I don't like, but I like most music. I'm just love variety. So
DJ Diversity.
Yep.
Okay, I like it. What is your favorite vacation spot and why?
Easy. Orlando, because I'm a Disney freak.
Orlando, Florida.
Yep.
Disney World.
Me and my family are Disney freaks. We've been a million times. We're going again in May.
Again.
Yeah, we're big theme.
I caught that.
Yeah, we're big theme park junkies. So I'll definitely say Orlando. We love going to Disney parks and Universal and all that. So.
Very nice.
Yep.
That would surprise me. Okay, last question. If you could have a conversation with an historical figure, who would it be and why? It could be family. It could be, like you said, a political figure. It could be a singer. It could be an actor, actress. But if you could just have a conversation with a historical figure, who would it be?
That's a good one.
I like that one.
Let me think.
I'm still thinking about my answer.
I think it would have to be my great-grandfather, who I never got the chance to meet. His name was Dr. Joseph Hardin. He was one of the first... he was a civil rights activist back in whatever year. I don't know what year.
New Orleans?
Yeah.
Okay.
And their Hardin Park is named after him. There was a Hardin school that was named after him. And I never got too much info on his life and
Sure.
And what he accomplished and stuff like that. So it had to be some good stuff if we have things named after him. So I probably would say him, so I could learn more about his life and all the stuff that he did.
Now, is that on your mother's side?
Yeah, that's my mom's grandfather.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, how about that? You answered my questions. I thought that was pretty enlightening. I enjoyed that. I'm still thinking of a couple of my answers on that. So why don't we get down and dirty here? Because what we want to do is we just want to learn more about you.
Okay.
And with our band, the Bayou Junction Band, and you're the lead singer in our band, and you're turning heads wherever you sing and wherever we go. So I just want to get your story out here a little bit. So tell us about where you're from in New Orleans. Not just, we know you're from New Orleans, but all the New Orleans folks listening going to want to know where you're from in New Orleans, and how did you guys get here in Houston? So tell me a little bit about that. Now, outside of the music, just how that happened.
So I was born in Gentilly, 7th Ward. I grew up there. I think I was about 5 or 6 when we moved to the East.
Okay.
Upper 9th Ward. So yeah, I went to St. Leo for kindergarten. Before that, I went to, my memory's so bad sometimes. I can't remember the name of that preschool I went to. Anyway, I went to St. Leo for kindergarten. Then we moved to the East when I was about 5 or 6. And then I went to Resurrection of Our Lord in the East for 1st through 8th grade. And then went to Cabrini for high school.
Cabrini, yep.
So, yeah, most of my family is from Gentilly in the 7th Ward, and some of us spanned out to the East. So
Chile, Gentilly?
Yep.
All right.
So that's where I'm from.
Nice. And understand you went to college at Xavier University in New Orleans. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I went to Xavier. Originally got an academic and an art scholarship. I was an art major when I first...
Sweet.
Yeah, when I first got there. That was fun. It was interesting, but, I started seeing some graduates that would come back and not just at Xavier, but, starving artists. I just decided I didn't want to be... I didn't want to be a starving artist. And that I was, I liked doing it and stuff, but there were people in the class that were, like, much better at it than me. One is a famous New Orleans artist today, Terrence Osborne.
Absolutely.
We were classmates, and I used to be in awe of his work. Like, oh my God, I'm nowhere near that good, and I don't want to be a starving artist. So,
right.
So I actually switched majors. I switched to computer science because I thought I would do like computer graphics, like mix the two, not just freestyle art, but mix the two and do like commercial art or commercial.
Was that after year
graphics.
1 or 2 or?
That was probably year 2.
Okay.
I switched to computer science because I was gonna, mix that with the art and do some kind of computer graphics or commercial art.
Sure,
it's kind of what I wanted to do. But then I got to the class where we had to take apart a computer and like learn all the wires and all that stuff, and I was like, nope, that ain't me.
Right.
So the funny part is I had took a couple semesters off, and I was helping Eric with his accounting homework.
Your husband?
Yes, we met in high school, so we had been together since high school. But he had changed his major at Dillard, and he was an accounting major. And I had done some bookkeeping for my dad's company while I was in high school and college, so I kind of knew a little bit. And so he knew, he used to ask me to help him with his accounting homework, and I did, and it was easy to me. And I was like, I think I'm going to just switch to this and, like, finish in this. So that's kind of what I did. Yeah. So then I graduated in accounting, and here I am.
So let me get this straight. Your husband was at Dillard, and you were at Xavier. Mm-hmm. And people from New Orleans know that's oil and water pretty much. So how did that fly by with everybody?
It's not as much oil and water as you think. Eric actually was probably on Xavier's campus more than he was on Dillard's campus because he was always over there to come hang out with me and stuff.
Well, right on.
People thought he went there who didn't know. But it was a little rivalry, but nothing too crazy.
Gotcha.
We didn't have football teams, so we would go to like the basketball games, and that was like a rivalry and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we knew each other and were dating prior to that, so I excused him. I forgave him for
Understood. and together now, how long?
Whew. All right. We started dating in 91. So what are we in 2025? So we've been together.
What is that? 34
years.
34.
And this year we'll be married 30 years. So
Outstanding.
in September will be our 30th wedding anniversary.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So, speaking about your family and growing up over in New Orleans, I know there was some major music influences in your life because, to be transparent with our audience, I'm very familiar with your parents, wonderful people, Mr. Oscar and Miss Lynn. And I know just from conversations with them, there was a tremendous amount of music influence as you guys were growing up. So tell me about your mom and dad with the influence of the music in your family and how that affected you.
Yeah, I would say the biggest influence came from my mom because one of my earliest memories that I can remember, I was probably like two or three, and we were on an old house on Russia-Blade Street, and I was on the sofa, and she would put music on and sing to me with like a Coke bottle.
Motown?
When we're talking Motown, like Barbara Streisand, Crystal Gale, like any kind of female belter, that's what she would,
Nice.
like, yeah. So I can just remember she said that, she would sing a song and I used to be on the sofa and I'd be like, yeah, mommy, like another one.
Right.
So I think that's where my love of singing and music started for sure.
Just watching your mom.
Yep,
So.
just listening to my mom sing around the house and stuff. As I got a little older, I found when we moved to the east, I found a box of my mom and dad's old 8-track tapes, and they had an 8-track player, and I asked if I could put that in my room, and I did. They showed me how to work it. Of course, I had a record player at that time too, but I found those, and I was like, "What's these big
right? What are these big contraptions?"
And like, well, that's like 8-track tapes, and I was like, "Well, what do you play it on?" And they were like, "Oh, you play it on this player." I was like, "Ooh, can I put that in my room?" They were like, "Yeah," because at that point they had upgraded to like record player or cassette, whatever it was at the time. So I put that in my room, and I started playing all their old 8-track tapes, Motown, just all kind of old stuff, Stevie and Marvin Gaye and just all that stuff, Bee Gees and like a lot, and I
So am I hearing this diversity thing? The DJ diversity thing was taking effect back then?
Yeah, because I started listening to all the 8-track tapes I found in that box, and that's kind of, they would play all that music too, but I just started listening to it myself and just kind of, listening to all the things they had in the box. So that's kind of how that happened. And then the older I got, my mom and I would just love to listen to female belters. Like that was our thing, right?
Okay.
So the first one, like I said, she would always had like Barbara Streisand, like Crystal Gale, and then Whitney came along.
Oh my!
And that changed us for the Whitney came along, and I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if it was her or me or who heard Whitney first. I can't remember that, but we instantly fell in love with her voice. We used to have singing competitions. I would put my friends on the phone and be like, okay, y'all, no, it's literally, I would be like, y'all tell us who sings it better. And I would put the phone down and we would sing Greatest Love of All. I would go first or she would go second, and they would get back on the phone like, who sang it better? We would have singing competitions.
Like a talent competition.
Yeah, just me and her, and we would belt like Whitney Houston. And, so that's how it kind of started. I don't remember what age I was in grammar school, but I fell in love with Whitney Houston. And then Mariah came out, and I heard Mariah, and I remember running to my mom and be like, "Mom, you gotta hear this.
Love and all that, yeah.
You gotta hear this new singer. Her name is Mariah Carey. Like she kind of sounds a little bit like Whitney, not really, but she can belt like Whitney.
Right.
But she does this high pitched thing with her voice, like it's crazy." So like then Mariah, and then I found out about Celine, which is like Whitney and Celine are my all-time favorites.
Celine Dion?
Yeah, and I told my mom about Celine, like, hey, you got to hear this. And that's kind of how we would hear somebody and be like, man, you got to hear this lady sing. And that's how kind of morphed into who our favorites are, and just we always loved a good belter,
Right.
So
tell me about your dad. Did he do any singing, or was he just the crowd guy listening in? And
Dad can't sing at all. But I think part of my diversity came from him because my dad had this old Ford Cougar, and this was back in the day before it illegal not to wear seatbelts and all that. You know, in the old school, I used to sit on a little compartment next to him while he was driving on a little, the little compartment in the middle. I don't know what you call it. The little, the little hump between the driver and the
little armrest console
seat.
thing.
Yeah. I would sit there. He'd have his arm around me driving, and I can remember him listening to Kenny Rogers and Willie Nelson was his favorites. Now I'll be honest, I wasn't with the Willie Nelson. I didn't like it back then. But Kenny Rogers, that album with
Dolly Parton,
that and the Gambler, that album. My dad played that till it was worn down. So I think that went into me like knowing and liking different types of music as well, because he used to listen to different stuff, and he liked country back then. Like I said, Willie and Kenny, but Kenny Rogers, like I probably know that whole album like front to back, all the songs. So, but he couldn't really sing; he would just listen to it. I don't know if I remember my dad singing. Another one of his favorites is Aaron Neville.
Oh yeah, yep.
My brother and I would, just to aggravate him,
Mike.
Yeah. We would. Growing up, we were fools. Like me and my brother would, if we hear somebody talk for long enough, like in a British accent,
right,
or Jamaican accent, whatever, we could imitate it.
Right.
And so we would aggravate my dad, and we would, Christmas would come around, and my dad would put the Aaron Neville Christmas CD on, and we would start like imitating him, like Merry Christmas. And he would get mad, and me and my brother and my mom would just die laughing, just keep aggravating him with that. But yeah, so that's some of his favorites is Aaron Neville, Willie Nelson, Kenny Rogers, and of course they love all the Motown stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They like the Motown freaks. But
who doesn't?
So yeah.
So growing up in New Orleans, I mean, we heard a lot about Aaron Neville and the Neville brothers and the whole Neville family, just so talented. It's just unbelievable. And I don't think people today realize how popular Kenny Rogers was back in the day. I mean, that guy was on every Music Academy Award show and everything else. He was just amazing. Yeah. So when you were getting into your more formative years in high school with Cabrini, talk to me about, did you do any singing then or anything? Or
yeah, well, I kind of had some stage fright growing up, especially in these when you get into those teenage formative years. You're kind of so worried about what people think about you and that kind of thing. And you know how families are. We have family gatherings and people make fun of you when you're singing. And even though they were joking, I would kind of you're young and you don't really know. You kind of take that to heart, and then like, oh, maybe I'm not that good. And I used to, in my mind, I couldn't sing like Whitney, so I'm not that good. You know what I mean? If you can't sing like Whitney, in my house, it felt like, you just okay, right? Right. So I did. So in high school and in elementary, I think my later elementary years, I joined choirs at school. So I was in the choir
in high school,
in grammar school, and high school.
Okay.
So that was fine for me because it was in a group setting. I didn't really have to, sing by myself.
You could blend in.
Exactly. Yeah. And then when we started going to Geri in the East at probably when I was in, I don't remember. It was either like late elementary years or early high school.
Now, what is Geri?
Geri is a church in the East.
Okay.
And it was a Catholic church. I grew up Catholic.
Sure.
It was a Catholic church, but they had a gospel mass where it wasn't the boring church music I'm gonna say boring because that's how what I think.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But this particular mass had a gospel choir, and there was the first time ever in church that I was like moved. Oh. Certain songs would like move me to tears, and I just was because the music moved me. Like the message that they were singing about moved me. So I found, for years we went, and my mom and I always talked about how we loved the choir. We looked forward to going to church every Sunday, 12:15 mass. And it was also kind of like the hangout mass for like teenagers. They would like hang out in the back and talk and get in trouble and stuff like that. But I would like go to the bathroom and say hi to people, but I would come sit back down because I would get in trouble with my mom. But But we really did fall in love with that choir and the music and the people, of the parish and stuff. And eventually in high school, I got the nerve. I went and tried out for the choir, and I got in, and that's where I started singing. And eventually, my mom talked her into joining, and then my brother. So we all three were in the Geri choir for years and years until.
That gave you a level of comfort that your mother and your brother were there with you. Okay.
Yeah, it was okay before they came though, but it was funner when they joined. But yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the stage fright though.
So yeah, I can't really explain what caused it. Like I said, I think part of it was growing up in a joking kind of family where they would make jokes or make fun, and even though they were just joking, I was young and didn't really.
Yeah, like that Don Rickles humor kind of cracking on you a little
not
bit.
Really
but you're a kid and you don't really know that.
Exactly. So I just kind of, I don't know. I think that was part of it. Not all of it, but just going through that age and stage. And I'm not as good as Whitney or Mariah. So, I'm not anything special. So
like, look at her trying to be Whitney up there.
That kind of thing. So I would join the gospel choir, and then. After so many years, sometimes our director was Mr. Frank, who I don't know if a lot of y'all probably heard of the group Chocolate Milk, but he was the lead singer back in the day of Chocolate Milk.
Hell yeah, dude.
Groove City.
Yep.
Anyway, he was our choir director, and he would call on me sometimes to like do a solo, and I would just like, no. No, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to do it.
Right.
And so eventually, he would call on me, and it would be just little parts, not like a whole song, just like a line here or there. So I kind of got the courage to do that. I was so nervous, but I would do it in church, and it was okay, but I still would be so nervous that I would be shaking. I wouldn't sound like myself.
Did you have to step up to the mic, or were you just staying where you were in the choir in your normal position?
Both. So sometimes, if it was just a line or two, then we would usually just pass the mic from one person to another. But if it was like a whole song, you'd have to like walk up to the pulpit thing where the people do the readings and the priests.
Well, all eyes on you.
And I hated that. Yeah. I don't know if did I ever get to the point where I don't remember, but I had some like smaller solos that I was okay with and that sort of thing. But still had stage fright. Just I never wanted to do like a whole song. I just was scared to death. I don't know why, but.
So did that kind of stay with you? Because I know with talking to your mother every now and then that you guys do karaoke and that type of stuff, but did that carry over into that at times or? So
I didn't do karaoke much. I do remember there was this one time in high school, we had a volleyball tournament out of town.
Okay.
And we were all, we had a curfew. And so we were all in our room, just chilling or whatever. Probably was a little bit, I don't know, like 9, 10 o'clock at night, something like that.
Sure.
So we're chilling, me and my roommate. I can't remember who I roomed with, but all of a sudden we hear somebody knocking on our door. I'm like, who the heck is this? Who is this? And we open it, and it's all the parents, including mine, saying, hey, there's a karaoke contest downstairs in the lobby, in the ballroom, or whatever it was. And you need to come sing. You need to come to sing. You better than all the people that sing. I'm like, I'm not coming down. They're like, yes, you are. They literally like dragged me down there.
Oh boy.
And made me do it. And so I was like, I don't know how I got the nerve, but I did it. I didn't have much choice. And I remember looking at the song list, and there wasn't many songs on there that I knew.
Oh.
It was like, I don't know if it was like a bunch of countries. I don't remember, but I was like trying to search for something that I knew that was kind of in my vocal range. Yeah. And I saw Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It?
There we go.
So that's what I sang. And not knowing it was a contest, they didn't tell me that because I probably would have freaked out. It's like, it's just karaoke, no big deal.
We just sing it.
Yeah, so I sang that and won the contest.
You won it?
Yes, I won the contest singing Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It? So,
nice.
Other than that, I think the only other times I've really done karaoke is on a cruise ship when my mom always forces us all to do karaoke. But yeah, I had stage fright probably, all my life, really.
Okay.
Like, literally.
Well, I want to let the audience know that you and I are in the Bayou Junction Band, and band's been together for about 2 years, now, almost 2 years now. And what I want to do is let the audience know how we met. So I'll kick this off for us, but I'm going to come back to that stage fright thing here in a minute. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. I may not remember everything line by line.
Be
so
wrong.
I might have this a little off a little bit.
Right.
But we'll fix it along the way. We'll
Both
band-aid
of our
that.
memories
We'll
can
band-aid
be
that
foggy.
thing. Right. So I started playing bass about 4 years ago, and started I wanted to start a little neighborhood band after about 2 years of practicing and playing. I put out a ad in the neighborhood Facebook page, asking if there were any interested musicians.
Nope, it wasn't an ad.
Well, what was it?
Y'all posted a video y'all practicing in the
Well,
garage.
that's how I started it, though, is putting an ad to start the band.
I never saw the ad.
Okay, well, that's how I did it.
Right.
And then we got together for a few practices and thought we were doing okay, and I thought we were. We were doing all right, we were doing all right. And so, but you saw something.
Yeah, I saw one of
a video that we may have posted or something, and
Yep.
I guess you thought, obviously, these cats need some help. I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so I was on Facebook. We had recently moved to this neighborhood because we used to be in Pearland, but we had recently moved up north to be closer to my parents and brother. And I saw, well, before this, the last few years I had lost a lot of weight.
Okay.
So I think just overall my confidence was better, and I'm getting older, and I'm wanting to do things that I always wanted to do, right?
Bucket list kind of
right.
things, yeah.
So I see that video. I see this band video posted in our neighborhood Facebook page, and I think y'all was singing "Can't You See?"
Yep.
And I was like, man, they sound pretty good. It's a like a garage band, a little neighborhood band. I was
Absolutely.
like, they sound pretty good.
Thank you.
I was like, I don't see any females in there. I was like, what better way to get my feet wet and to try to get over this than to just maybe do some background singing, for a garage band,
Sure.
who's really going to hear us.
Sure.
So I was kind of joking, but kind of not, hoping to maybe that it, would take off. But I just commented on it and said,
Did you talk to your mom about it?
No, I didn't talk to anybody about it. I just commented.
So you did this all on your own?
Yeah, I just commented. I was like, man, y'all sound pretty good. Hit me up if you ever need a female background singer. I was not thinking lead or any of that. I was just like, this will be a good kind of thing to get my feet wet, sing some background, have some fun,
Sure.
So that's what I commented. I said, let me know if y'all ever need a female background singer.
Right.
And that's what I commented. And then you reached. I think you looked at my profile, and then you reached out and said, "You from New Orleans? Went to Cabrini?"
Yep.
And I was like, "Yep." You were like, "I'm from New Orleans too. I went to Shaw," and then we just started talking like that. And then and then you invited me over to come, just kind of talk and see what
But I did ask you. I said, "Hey, do you have a sample?"
Yes,
you can send me.
You did.
Yes.
So before I came
tell
over,
me about that.
Yeah. Before I came over, you did ask, and I'm like, oh man, I don't have any real video of me as an adult singing. And I was like, wait a minute. So my brother-in-law used to have this app, and he loves to sing too, and he would keep bothering me with this app and saying, hey, go on Smule, you can do karaoke
Right.
by yourself, in front of yourself, just have fun. It's a cool app. So finally I was like, okay, let me check it out. And I was late one night. I think I had been drinking and just, bored. And I went on there and did Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got that video. I was like, that should be good enough just for him to see what my voice sounds like and
Right.
and get an idea, if they would be interested or if they even need my kind of voice in the band. So I sent you that. And then you called, so I came over, I met you and Becky, and we started just talking about New Orleans and
Right.
this and that. I think pretty sure I admitted to you up front that I kind of had some stage fright.
Yes,
and
you did.
trying to get over it, and that sort of thing. And you can tell the story of when you heard the video. And
Yeah, I sure will, because, I wanted to sound pretty professional, and when I was talking to you, sure, send me a sample of your work if you would, please.
Right.
I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And so it wasn't long after you sent the, I think it was a video with a recording.
Yeah, it's a video.
Yeah, it was a video.
Karaoke.
And I had no idea what to expect. So I open up the file and I start listening to you singing Killing Me Softly by Roberta Flack. Now, I got to tell you, I'm a big Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack fan. So, man, I'm thoroughly, educated about their music and music from the late 60s going all the way through the 70s and all that time frame. It took me about 10 seconds, I think, of listening to it, and I was just like, oh my. I stopped it, and I went and got my wife, Becky. I said, baby, you need to hear this. Killing me softly with it. And I'm like, oh my. And Becky looked at me, she goes, oh my God, honey, that's amazing. I said, I don't know about this backup singing stuff, but I said, I'm going to ask her, how are you with being lead singer and face of the band? What we got going on? But it was just amazing. I can't begin to tell people how, I was impressed when I saw that. And all I could think of is, man, we got to step up our game if this lady's going to come sing with us, So, like you said, you came over and met with us. And when we discovered that New Orleans connection, it was just, we've been like, extended family ever since, and I'm so happy about all that stuff. And but you started singing with us. We started practicing, and now look where you are today. You're the lead singer of our band. Whenever we go somewhere, you sing. People they want to know who you are. They're not worried about bass player Jay or Astro Joe on the accordion or Jamie singing or Steve on the drums, but of course, they love them, but, who is that lady singing, So one thing I want to ask you about that is, so we're going to step forward a little bit again. And so tell me how you like hearing everything you've had to overcome with the challenges and the fear, because it really is fear, the stage fright. And that kind of thing is, cut short a lot of careers in athletics and music and acting and all kind of things. People might be great at their job, but they have to do a presentation and they can't do it.
Right.
Or in business, somebody may have they may be an expert at what they do, but they can't talk to anybody or make a presentation or try to sell what they're doing.
Right.
But you overcame that fear by doing it, and now you are where we are with the band, and it's just amazing. I can't even begin to say it. But tell me about how you like being in a band, and not only that, but the lead singer of the Bayou Junction Band. So talk to me a little bit about that.
It's like amazing, like a dream come true. If you would have told me like 6-7 years ago, hey, you're gonna be the lead singer of a band and gigging and you're not gonna be nervous where you about to faint or pass out or throw up, I would be like, yeah, right. Sometimes I gotta step back and be like, wow, like I'm really singing in a band and enjoying it, and got over the stage fright. Still get nervous now and then, but I wouldn't call it stage fright anymore.
No,
it's just normal performance nerves. Some gigs more than others,
Yeah.
But no, it's been amazing. Like I have you to thank for giving me that shot.
All I did was provide a means. That's all I did. You had to be the one to take it over.
We all were in the right place at the right time, No, it's amazing. Like, it's a dream come true. It brings me so much joy. I love it. I absolutely look forward to it. And, yeah, I just love it and can't believe that I'm doing it.
I can tell you a few of the songs that you sing, like, for instance, Soul Shine or now Hurricane and a couple other songs. I See Red, kind of your signature songs. One of my favorite things to do is look when your parents are in the crowd. I look at your mom and dad, and they are just sitting there with just full of love and happiness. Not to quote Al Green, but I know I'm doing it. But it's just I love looking at them watching you. And a few times when you first started out, they thanked me, and your brother Mike thanked me for providing the opportunity for you, and I'm like, guys, that's no credit for me. She's the one that had to get over it and do it. So she's the one that did it. And if anything, if I could be side by side by her on that music journey to get that accomplished, man, I'm honored to be the one, to help out there. Because I can tell you, when I first started playing bass and I'd get pulled up on stage and didn't know what I was doing, that's some scary stuff,
right.
man, But I get over it real quick. But some people handle things differently, and, man, you've handled it tremendously. So, but one thing about being the lead singer in the band, and you got 4 other guys in the band, you got these 2 white boys, and you got these 2 vatos with you. So it's just you and 4 other guys, including me. How do you manage being in the band with 4 other guys? Because I know you like mother hen half the time, but
right.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
It's not hard. All the guys are pretty easygoing, easy to get along with. We've gone through different members here and there,
building a band.
But the group that we have now has been together now for almost a year.
Almost a year now.
With this group. I mean, we just have a really good group. We got great chemistry. Everybody kind of on the same page with, how we handle being in the band.
Right.
Nobody's in it to make a living off. We all have our own jobs. This is a hobby for us that we love.
Right.
And I think that makes a difference. But, I get on y'all sometimes because, like, y'all don't have to worry about hair and makeup and this and that. So, yeah, of course it's easy for you. But no, it's cool. It's kind of like, a sister with 4 annoying brothers sometimes.
That's it.
And I grew up with an annoying brother, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, we love Mike.
But no, I love the guys we have and the group we have now is just amazing, and the chemistry is awesome, and everybody's pretty much on the same page. So
one thing I'll say about our group that I love is it's all nurturing personalities, and Astro Joe and Steve, our drummer, and Jamie, our other rhythm guitar player and singer, man, those guys are all team players to the max. And one thing the 4 of us are all on the same page with is we don't want to make Jerry upset. We need to make sure we do what we're doing the things right, because you are a perfectionist sometimes with things, and you like things done the right way.
I do.
But that adds to our,
drive
and of doing things right. But I want to get back to that fun part thing, because many times my wife will ask me when I come back from a rehearsal or practice that we have, how did it go? And I'm like, I'm telling you, about 1/3 of the practice is us laughing and cracking up, because we just have fun being together.
Yeah.
And that's just so important with, bands I've seen and been around. And I've had uncles that played music when I was growing up, and they had some episodes. I'll say that,
Right.
But a lot of them are fun memories. But they had some challenging times too. But the one thing I'll say that you really focused on is that we have a lot of fun just being together. We have a Christmas party. You've hosted 2 Christmas parties at your house for the band, which is amazing. And we have what we call the Bayou Junction family. Jack Lippa, who plays with us on harmonica, he's amazing.
Jack the Rattler.
Yep, the secret weapon for Bayou Junction, and he just adds so much when he plays with us. So we're really blessed with the people that we have in the band. And which leads me to a question of, you're in the band, you're a lead singer now, and just tell me, who are a couple of your favorite performers that you might take a little bit from that you do while you're singing? Do you really do it on your own, or do you have like any kind of influences that you may grab a little bit from here, a little bit there when you're on stage?
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I've told you who my favorite singers are, so of course I would think that they've influenced me over the years. Whitney, Mariah, Celine.
That's some amazing singers now.
Yeah. But I think I had to get over that. I mean, you're not them. You have to do it your way. And that's
right.
kind of what I think I've been trying to grow over the past 2 years, is just not trying to be like anybody, and just trying to pick songs that I can relate to and that make me feel something, and I just sing it my way. That's what I've been focusing on the last 2 years and trying to grow. But of course, countless singers probably have influenced me over the years that I can't put a specific, this one.
You probably subliminally
it's like
take
all of them,
maybe.
take something from all of them. But
that's that diversity thing again.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and I think I've been trying to, learn. I've learned over the past couple of years that just because you don't sing like Whitney, or just because you can't belt like Celine, doesn't mean you can't be a good singer in your own right. You know what I mean? Because there's so many good singers that are like altos or don't have like a high,
Right.
super high range or that are amazing.
Right.
And that, you know, that's kind of as an adult what I've learned and just I'm not trying to be like anybody. I'm just trying to be myself and sing songs that have meaning to me and make me feel something, because I think that's when I perform my best, if it's a song that I can relate to and I
Right.
love and it makes me feel things.
Well, it's like it's easy to tell when people like doing things because they're having fun doing it.
Right.
And I can tell some of the songs that we do that you perform. It's easy for me to see if you like the song or not.
Right.
You know, and one other thing I'll allude to while we're talking about that is you said, you know, I'm not going to be able to sing it like Whitney, or I'm not going to be able to sing it like Celine Dion or Mariah Carey. And one thing Astro Joe always says a lot is, we'll say, well, how are we going to play this song? And Astro Joe says, we're going to play it the way Bayou Junction plays
Right,
it.
exactly.
And we'll add our own twist to it from a musical perspective. And Geri, stage name Gigi will do it from her perspective. So it just adds a good mix to what we do in the band, and I just love that. So speaking of which, we just recently went to New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
To back home.
Man.
Look out. Shout out. And we had a gig at River Shack in Gretna. And tell me a little bit about what your expectations were for that gig, and, you know, what are some of the best memories you have of us performing there. So
Man,
talk
I
to me a
was
little bit
looking
about
that was probably the nervous I've ever been at any gig, because I had family and friends from back home coming to watch me that have never seen me perform.
Right.
Until a few years ago, they're like, "Well, I didn't even know you could sing like that," you know, like so. I was pretty nervous at the beginning of that gig, but I got through it, and it was just amazing to be home, to have a fun crowd that's, you know, friends and family, and they did not disappoint. Like, the crowd was so into it, dancing and singing,
And you know, in New Orleans, if you're
drinking and having fun,
yep.
and it was just amazing. My 97-year-old grandma, even though she lives in Houston, has never been to a gig.
Right.
And she made that trip mainly for that reason, but, you know, for other reasons as well, to see some great grandchildren that she had never met.
Some of her people.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was just amazing for me, for her to come to my first gig, or her first time seeing me perform, and to be back home with all
Right.
our friends and family. You know, that just meant a lot to me, and it was just come full circle. Like, oh my God, like, we, you know, how big New Orleans is with music, and like we got a gig in New Orleans there,
Right.
like, and had fun and got so many compliments. It was just amazing. That was probably my top favorite gig for those reasons, because, you know, we got to connect with so many family and friends back home.
Well,
and they enjoyed it.
Oh, they loved it. I mean, I got so many compliments when I walked around in between the sets. The first thing I heard from most people was, "That singer y'all have, that lady's amazing. She's wonderful." And then after the gig, everybody was wondering who your grandmother was, because she was up there front, center of the stage. I think she was dancing with your Uncle Joe.
She finally got up and danced on Proud Mary.
With an umbrella.
The last song.
With an umbrella, because we passed out some Mardi Gras umbrellas. It was just, I can't begin to say how much fun, and the hospitality and the love we felt from everybody that night. And we'll be back for sure. That was just amazing. And if you check out Bayou Junction's Facebook page, you'll see a little snippet of the video we have from that. So check it out if you can. So
we'll be posting some pictures soon. Too,
yes, we will.
From that night.
So one of my last questions, Geri, is we do all of this, and you work full time, and the band is a commitment. You know, it's a hobby, but it's a commitment, and it's work, and it's a lot of work. So tell us what do you do to unwind? What do you do to relax? What do you do for Geri? What do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do?
What do I do?
Stevie Wonder, do I do?
I like going out to eat with my husband. We loved going on date nights and trying new restaurants and just going out to eat and drink and talk and wind down. He's been one of my biggest supporters. We've been together since we were 15, and he's grown up with me, so he knows about the stage fright. He knows what I overcame, and he comes to every gig. He's just so supportive. So I really appreciate that, and am blessed to have a husband that supports me that much. So we like to go out, eat and drink, and then I watch TV, listen to music, and sing. I just recently got a new fish tank, so now I sit there. That relaxes me. I'll sit there and watch the fish. I've had fish tanks before, but never anything this big. So I'm excited to have one again. And I love sitting there and that relaxes me, watching the fish. And sometimes I like to cook. I won't say I love to cook, but I like to eat. So I'll cook. When you can't get anybody in Houston to cook what you want to eat, you got to cook it yourself.
Right on. Yep. And I love eating you cooking, I'll say that.
So I like eating good food.
What do you like cooking?
Like I said, I don't know what I like the act of cooking, but I enjoy eating what I cook. So my favorite food everybody knows is roast beef po' boy, which you can't get a good one in Houston, so I have to make that myself.
Yes, indeed.
So I cook the roast overnight till it falls apart, and then we got to
sloppy.
find some New Orleans bread from somewhere. Sometimes we get it from home and freeze it, but I did find a restaurant out here that sells it. They get it shipped in. I'm not giving away my secret because then they'll be sold out. But, roast beef po' boy is my favorite food in the world. When I go home, I eat one probably every day I'm there. Shout out to Shortstop. That's my favorite.
Look out.
Red, of course, my specialty. Everybody loves my red beans and rice.
Yes, Lord.
Ask me to cook those. Pretty good at gumbo, stewed chicken, stuffed peppers.
Yep.
Grillade, which is a Creole dish.
Yep.
What else? That's probably my specialties, the ones that I.
Well, I can give a testimony because I've eaten a lot of your cooking, and it's pretty damn good, Shy. I got to tell you that. So anyway, well, I really, appreciate you being here for our first podcast, and
honored to be the first one.
Look out now. That's it. So I'm sure you guys would love to hear Gigi sing and me on the bass, haha. And the way to do that is you check out the Bayou Junction Band's Facebook and Instagram pages for our upcoming schedule that Gigi always posts. I want to give a huge Texas and Louisiana thank you to Geri for being the very first guest on my podcast and helping us kick things off. We really appreciate you being so open and telling us your story. And with that, we'll see you on the flip side for another episode of In the Pocket with JayBo. See y'all later. Bye-bye.